Alright, let's set the stage. We're in a world where superpowers aren't just comic book fantasy anymore. About half the population has abilities, creating this massive societal shift. Think My Hero Academia, but with way more family dysfunction. And at the top of the food chain, meet Jaerim, better known as the Executioner. This guy's the final boss of evil. Even other villains bow down to him, or well, they don't bow down very long, if you catch my drift. He's got armies of criminals under his command, zero moral boundaries, and will kidnap or eliminate just about anyone who gets in his way. Oh, and his ringtone? Baby Shark. Yeah, you heard that right. The world's most terrifying supervillain rocks out do when his phone rings. The author really said, let's make him absolutely unhinged, but also completely ridiculous. And honestly, it's genius. The Manhwa opens with the perfect scene of Jaerim, aka the Executioner, about to have an epic showdown with the hero Jaehyun Kim from the legendary Hanyun family. We're talking full dramatic superhero battle, tension in the air, the works. And then, both their phones start ringing. I cannot express how beautiful this moment is. These two are literally about to engage in mortal combat, and they both just, stop, take their phone calls, postpone their deathmatch to handle personal business. It's like watching John Wick mid-pause fight scene to chat with his insurance company. The audacity is incredible, and it immediately tells us the story doesn't take itself too serious despite the high stakes. But here's where the story gets interesting. Even the ultimate bad guy has a weakness, and her name is Jaehyun. Our boy Jaerim has fallen head over heels for this completely normal, law-abiding citizen. Think about the mental gymnastics here. This man spends his days orchestrating terror campaigns and commanding armies of villains. Then goes home to play house with his sweet, innocent girlfriend who has no idea who he really is. And now, she invited him to meet her family for the first time. You know that nervous energy you get meeting your partner's parents. That fear of making a good impression, multiply that by 1,000 and add the fact that you're literally their most wanted enemy. The irony is just chef's kiss. So Jaerim shows up for dinner, right? He's probably practiced his "I'm just a regular guy" speech in the mirror, picked out a nice suit, maybe even brought flowers. He's confident he could charm his way through this family dinner. And then, Jaehyun drops the bomb. Oh, by the way, honey, I've been keeping a little secret. My family? They're the legendary Hanyun Kim heroes. You know, those famous superheroes who've sworn to destroy all villains. Especially that Executioner guy. Yeah, that's my family. The timing is absolutely diabolical. Like, Jaehyun, sweetie, this information might have been useful before he showed up with wine and chocolates, you know? Now let's talk about this family roster because it reads like a superhero hall of fame. First up, Ho Kim, the grandfather. This man is the hero establishment. He founded the National Council of Heroes. He's basically a pioneer. Then we have Jaehyun's mom, Hee Choi. She's got telekinesis powers, which means she could probably sense when you're lying and throw you through a wall while making dinner. Fun combination. Young Sik Kim is Jaehyun's dad and current family head. Here's the thing about Young Sik. He looks like your average middle-aged guy, right? The kind of dad who struggles with technology and tells bad dad jokes. But when this man powers up, he becomes an absolute unit. Then we got Jaehyun's brother, Haeun, very similar name, the research director and who possesses barrier abilities. Then there's Uncle Haeun, chief security, and oh yeah, the same guy from the opening fight scene. And then there's Jaehyun, the only family member without powers, the normal one, the civilian. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Watching Jaerim try to navigate this dinner conversation is peak entertainment. This man is sitting there passing the potatoes to people who probably have "Kill the Executioner" vision boards in their bedroom. He's making small talk about his job, owning a cleaning business, with people who spend their day planning villains' demise. The secondhand anxiety is real. But then, It gets worse. Mid-dinner, he gets a business call, and not just any business call, it's about coordinating a villain attack on the Lee family. So now Jaerim has to excuse himself from the family and manage supervillain logistics. The compartmentalization skills on this man are honestly impressive. Excuse me, I need to step away from your lovely dinner to coordinate some light terrorism. I'll be right back. While Jaerim is on the phone with his subordinate Kay, Uncle I-hun surprises him. They begin talking, and Jaerim is probably thinking he's nailing this whole future nephew-in-law vibe, right? He's charming, maybe sharing some stories, really bonding with the family. Then he reaches into his jacket to pull out his wedding invitation because he wants to be inclusive, right? He wants to personally invite Uncle I-hun to the wedding. That's when I-hun slams down the exact same wedding invitation on the table. The same invitation Jaerim dropped during their fight scene earlier that day. You can practically hear the record scratch. The atmosphere goes from family bonding to Mexican standoff in about 0.5 seconds. The tension is so thick you can cut it with a knife. Just when you think this situation cannot possibly get more chaotic, guess what happens? Kay, Jaerim's right-hand man, shows up at the house with a full villain squad, hostages, because apparently there was a mix-up with the intel, and now they're attacking the Kim family. The same family Jaerim is currently having dinner with. This is like your coworkers showing up to rob your in-laws' house during Sunday dinner. The secondhand embarrassment is absolutely off the charts. So now Jaerim and I-hun are standing on the balcony watching the Kim family mobilize downstairs to face the threat. And let me tell you, those heroes are walking in formation looking absolutely badass like the Avengers. Meanwhile, Jaerim is having the worst possible day because he has to 1. Not blow his cover, 2. Somehow stop his own men from murdering his future in-laws, 3. Look like a helpless civilian, 4. Maintain his relationship, and 5. Somehow survive the night. The mental gymnastics this man is doing deserves Olympic recognition. So here's where things get absolutely wild. Jaerim is watching from the balcony as his own subordinate threatens his girlfriend, and he's supposed to be this helpless civilian, right? Just a regular guy who definitely can't do anything superhuman. But when Hyen's life is on the line, all that careful planning goes straight out the window. This man leaps off a 2-story balcony, and I'm talking like a full superhero landing, into the bushes. Then he rushes into the parking lot where the family are. Already suspicious, but okay, maybe adrenaline explains that. But then, oh man, then he spots a rock on the ground, winds up like he's pitching in Game 7 of the World Series, and absolutely launches this thing at Kay with enough force to nail him dead center in the chest from like 30 feet away. The precision, the power, the complete and utter lack of subtlety. Every hero in that parking lot is watching this normal civilian throw a rock with accuracy of a guided missile. And Kay, poor Kay, is just standing there getting absolutely demolished by his own boss. Completely baffled too. You can see the confusion on his face, like, why is the executioner attacking me? Did I miss a memo? Is this some kind of performance review? The man literally cannot comprehend why his beloved leader is throwing a rock right at him in front of a bunch of superheroes. It's like watching your most trusted friend beat the crap out of you in front of your enemies. What gives? But here's where things get absolutely insane. One of Kay's men pulls out a bomb, because apparently we're escalating from family dinner to potential mass casualties, and this whole situation is about to go nuclear. Hugh Choi, Hyen's telekinetic mom, immediately springs into action and launches that bomb high into the air with her powers. We're talking like 50 feet at least, spinning through the sky like some kind of deadly firework. Now Kay activates his beast mode ability. This man literally transforms at the knees and launches himself into the air at incredible heights to catch this thing before it detonates and kills everyone. So Kay gets the message finally, sees his boss' phone light glaring at him from the night sky below, and in the moment of perfect comedic timing, purposely misses the catch. Just completely misses the bomb on purpose. Boom! Massive explosion mid-air. And that's when we get to see Hae-yeon's barrier abilities in full action. He throws up his protective shield that covers everyone's from the blast. The whole family working together like a well-oiled superhero machine. The young Sik, the mild-mannered dad, is not having it. The second K lands, young Sik is right there behind him and delivers this absolutely monstrous punch that sends K flying. And just like that, K gets arrested. Poor guy took a beating and got hauled off to jail, all to keep Jaerim's cover intact. Now that is what I call taking one for the team, even if he has no idea what he's doing. After all this chaos settles down, you'd think Jaerim would want to get as far away as possible from this situation, right? Maybe fake his own death, move to another country, start fresh. Nope. Instead, he somehow agrees to move in with the hero family for protection. The irony is so beautiful it brings tears to my eyes. They're literally protecting him from himself. Ho Kim promises to catch the executioner and tear his limbs off as a wedding gift. And Jaerim just had to sit there maintaining his poker face like, haha, yeah, that sounds great, Grandpa. So now, we have the world's most dangerous villain living under 24-hour hero protection, complete with 3 shifts of security guards while secretly planning his own wedding. Oh, and he brings his puppy, because nothing says evil mastermind like adorable pet ownership. The potential for comedy here is absolutely infinite. A few days in, Jaerim calls a meeting with his villain organization. We meet K, Operation Director, Planning Director Q, and Security Director J. These are hardened criminals, right? The kind of people who make grown heroes break out in cold sweats. And they're sitting around a conference table learning their boss is getting married to a hero family member and wants to use his wedding as an assassination opportunity. It's like the world's most twisted office meeting. So quarterly projections look good, and oh yeah, I'm getting married to the enemy. Any questions? But then, because this story refuses to let Jaerim catch a break, I-hun decides to drop by for a security sweep and walks right into this villain meeting. Q suddenly becomes a charming office worker, and I-hun is immediately smitten, all blushy and awkward. K transformed into a literal dog, using his beast mode ability. Everyone else scrambles to look like normal employees. And Jaerim, this absolute madman, convinces I-hun to allow the dog in him to move in, with some sob story about him finding the dog outside the office building. Now, he has a spy living with the hero family. The layers of deception are getting absolutely ridiculous, and I'm here for every single second of it. Later, the family starts playing trivia games. You know, normal family bonding stuff. Young Sik even gives Jaerim this high-tech protective watch that uses Hae-yeon's barrier abilities. Sweet gesture. Except one of Ho Kim's questions about the hero sponsorship system clearly triggers some dark memories for Jaerim. We get this glimpse of his tragic backstory, a flashback to young Jaerim, and someone reaching out to him as a child. Whatever turned him against heroes clearly runs deep. That's when Hae-yeon calls for an intermission from the game. She suggests that they go out for some ice cream, you know, some couples time away from the intense family bonding session. They have this sweet little stroll together, just enjoying each other's company. But then Hae-yeon tells Jaerim to take his time getting some fresh air while she heads back home first. But here's where Jaerim's villain instincts kick in. When he arrives back at the Kim residence, he notices something interesting. The entire house is covered in a protective barrier shell, the same material Hae-yeon uses for his shields. And what does our reformed villain do when he sees the security system? He looks for vulnerabilities. Any weakness. Old habits die hard, I guess. This man cannot help himself. He's literally living with them, they're protecting him, and he's still conducting reconnaissance on their defense. And sure enough, he spots a small crack in the barrier. That's when the test really begins. Hye-in gets kidnapped by this massive robot. Jaerim and Young-sik rush to help, but mysteriously, their powers get blocked. Jaerim can't access his abilities, Young-sik can't transform. Something's interfering with their powers. But that doesn't stop Young-sik from trying to attack this mechanical menace head on. And let me tell you, watching this middle-aged dad get absolutely folded by a giant robot is both hilarious and concerning. Jaerim activates the protective watch and rushes in to help and starts putting the pieces together. Something feels off about this whole situation. The robot got past their security way too easily. The timing is way too convenient. And then, in a plot twist that absolutely floored me, Hye-in breaks free and drops a massive elbow on the robot's back. We're talking WWE levels of impact here. That's when the robot suit opens up to reveal her brother, who the whole thing was an elaborate test orchestrated by Ho Kim to figure out if Jaerim has any special abilities, and more importantly, test his commitment to protecting Hye-in. These heroes don't mess around when it comes to background checks, and honestly, the level of family coordination required to pull this off is kind of impressive. After the dust settles from this elaborate test, we get this really touching father to future son-in-law moment between Young-sik and Jaerim. Young-sik is genuinely disappointed in Jaerim's ability to put himself in harm's way. But here's this dad who just watched what he thinks is a regular civilian throw himself into danger to protect his daughter. He's both proud and concerned. But then, and this really shows the depth of these characters, Young-sik apologizes to Jaerim for taking the test too far. He acknowledges maybe putting him through this elaborate fake kidnapping scenario was a bit much, even if it was to prove his commitment to Hye-in. There's something really beautiful about this moment. Young-sik is recognizing that love shouldn't have to be proven through trials by fire, you know? And the guilt he feels for putting Jaerim through that kind of stress shows what kind of man he is. And then, because this manhwa refuses to let up the irony, Ho Kim drops the ultimate bombshell. He's starting a new civilian fostering system to help regular people become heroes, and he wants Jaerim to be a part of it. Let me paint this picture for you. The legendary founder of the Hero Council is personally asking the world's most feared supervillain to join their ranks and become a hero. It's like asking the fox not to guard the henhouse, but to actually become a chicken. The audacity, the beautiful, perfect irony. And you know what makes this even more complex? The flashback hints that someone asked young Jaerim this same question before to become a hero. Whatever happened back then clearly shaped him into a villain he became. So now the question becomes, will this be his redemption arc? Can love truly change someone? Or is this just setting up for an even more dramatic betrayal down the line? The setup is absolutely perfect, and I cannot wait to see where this goes. What made Devilish Son-in-Law absolutely brilliant isn't just the comedy, though that's what I'm here for. It's how it takes universal experiences and amplifies them to ridiculous extremes. Everyone's been nervous about meeting their partner's family. Everyone's worried about making a good impression. Even moments where they felt like they were living a double life. This manhwa takes the relatable anxieties and asks, but what if you were literally the world's most wanted criminal? The dramatic irony is off the charts because we know what's going on, but the characters don't. Plus, underneath all the chaos, there are some genuinely interesting questions being explored. Can people really change? And is love enough to redeem someone? The art in this manhwa is gorgeous, the action scenes are dynamic, the character expressions are perfect for comedy, and the visual storytelling really sells both the dramatic moments and the ridiculous ones. But what really makes this special is the pacing. The author knows exactly when to ramp up the tension and when to release it with comedic relief. Every chapter leaves you truly wanting more. If you're looking for a manhwa that will make you laugh out loud while keeping you on the edge of your seat, this absolutely delivers. What did you think of this breakdown? Have you read Devilish Son-in-Law? What was your favorite moment of absolute chaos? As we await further installments, let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, hit subscribe for more manhwa madness, and ring that notification bell so you never miss when I drop new content. Stay groovy, Groovy Senpai signing out.